AJ. AJ.
Hi, Bryan.
Hi, AJ. I'm Bryan.
I think I cracked the code.
What's the code?
So, you know.
I don't know.
You get lots of support from the community.
Uh-huh.
But you work really hard, man. Like 24 hours.
I work really hard?
Well, look. All I'm saying is I have an idea here.
Oh, okay. I'm all about ideas. Let's listen.
You need sponsorships.
Uh-huh.
And we really like pizza.
Bro, the number of times I have reached out, not through email or anything else, just by screaming it loudly in GAMESCAST. I've reached out to DiGiorno.
DiGiorno.
And in the hopes that somebody that works at DiGiorno watches GAMESCAST.
Yeah,
well, because
I'd probably turn down a sponsorship from like Papa John's. I'd be like, no, sorry.
Yeah,
I don't like your pizza.
I mean,
I will accept based on how much I like the pizza.
So, what big corporate brands that have this kind of marketing money that's not Papa John's would be acceptable? I mean, are we talking Pizza Hut, Domino's? Dude, I would do.
DiGiorno's a pretty good one.
I would do Little Caesars, honestly. If we're talking what, dude. So you just got to get the right thing from Little Caesars is the problem. They're cheap.
There's only one thing I've had from Little Caesars, and that's their hot and ready deep dish.
Yes,
or
agreed.
Like thick crust. Like that's surprisingly good considering their regular hot and readies taste like cardboard.
Yeah, I mean, they're not deep dish pizza isn't great. I mean, I've had it; it's okay. You know, like it gets the job done. If it's like $7 or something, it's ridiculously cheap. But the deep dish stuff is good. They're cheesy Italian bread that looks like pizza with nothing on it. The deep dish is really good, but it's all like salt. Their breadsticks are good. Their wings are actually surprisingly okay. Surprisingly okay, which is not a ringing endorsement. Yeah,
it also depends on where you get it from. I see Spooky Yuki says Marco's. Marco's is actually pretty good.
Dude, I've never even heard of Marco's.
Oh, Marco's is like, it's basically replaced fast food pizza for me. Like if I want fast food pizza, I go with Marco's. Roy Martini also says Jets Pizza. They're 4-corner or 8-corner pizza. Like Michigan or Detroit style.
Yeah.
Except it's actually pretty damn good too.
But neither of these places are anywhere near me.
Yeah, I mean, if it were up to me, like, yeah, there's a bunch of local places, and then there's like Nancy's, which is like makes a really good like stuffed pizza.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't have. Well, there is a Big Pie in the Sky, which makes like a 100-foot pizza.
AJ, I'm losing interest in this conversation by the minute, and I can only assume that the 198 people that are here also are. So you want to just start the show?
It's true.
All right.
We'll discuss this business matter another time.
Like after the opening?
Sure.
All right, let's go. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single MonJay, Wednesday, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. But we also care about your oral pleasure. That's why our good friend RyPop uploads this on podcast services of your choice. And if sitting around watching the whole live show is just too goddamn much for you, trust me, we get it. We totally get it. We talk a lot, and a lot of it is about pizza. So that's why Rhodey, the Gamecat Army General, puts timestamps into the show after the fact, and we love them for it. Thank you very much. My name is Bryan Paul, this channel right here, PSVR without Parole, and this gentleman over here to my right, also to your right, it's AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
Now, please enjoy this 45-second ad from our sponsor.
I mean, YouTube agrees. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Like there's a literal, but for anyone who doesn't do YouTube stuff out there, you think that they push ads on you? They push ads on us. They're like, there's a big fucking button right now in my face that says, now would be a good time to insert an ad. And they really want me to click that shit. I've never pushed it. AJ, one day. Should I push it?
What is up, Bryan? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. And I know that Mondays usually suck. Yes, it's true. But we are here, Bryan, to ensure their Monday sucks.
Yeah.
Just a little less.
Just much. Samson143. I want to talk to Samson with the $5 tip. Says just starting now, a little behind, but how about sponsorship from Papagino's? Keep it local. Is Papagino's local? Do you guys not have Papagino's?
Sounds like you'll get pizza and something else.
You don't have Papagino's?
No.
Okay. I see. I don't know what's local because like I grew up in this area. I moved to Tennessee for like 5 years, and that's where I learned what a Kroger was. Yeah.
Dude.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The Kroger's amazing.
We have like Stop and Shop and Price Chopper, and you guys have Kroger, and I think that might be it.
We have Kroger, Publix, dude. There's like
Publix,
a billion things in Georgia.
Yeah.
Kroger, Publix, Walmart.
Dude, I didn't know what a Krispy Kreme was until I moved to the South. Can you fucking believe that shit? You guys have it so good down there.
You do. There's lots of really good food down here. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I've got lots of great memories from the South, but there are very few that compare to getting real, real high and then getting a Krispy Kreme right off the line. Oh, shit, dude.
And now everybody listening is absolutely starving.
Dude, me included.
I was smart and I ate before the show.
Amazing. That is smart. I didn't have time to do this before the show. I've got so many things in the works right now. I'm so happy that I finally got that Ven VR review out. And the goal from now on, guys, is going to be one review a week minimum, one actual review. And then either tonight or tomorrow, I'll be debuting the first Bryan bite ever. And the goal is to have like multiple of those out every week, right? Those are going to be like more like brief overviews, not real reviews, more like, hey, just impressions, thoughts in a short, like just 2 or 3 minute video, less editing, more fun. So there's going to be like multiple ones of those. And then, and that way, hopefully, it'll start to get caught up. They're not going to be in place of reviews. I think that's the important thing. Some people are going to be like, "This isn't as good as a review," and I agree, it's not. But these are games that are not going to get reviewed anyway. So it's in place of nothing. Is really what you're getting them for. Cool. AJ, enough about what's happening over here. What's happening over on your channel? What's going on?
Legendary Underground, or Underground Tales, whatever you want to call it, is going well, man. No, I've been playing the hell out of Legendary Tales for my channel and in my free time and discussing it. It's just the same old, streaming that game has been an absolute blast. Mm-hmm. I've streamed 18 hours of my main save of the game. I'm getting near the end. Saturday, thank you to everybody who tuned in. It was a lot of fun. I streamed for 4 hours straight. I beat the damn Necromancer, which was a really, really fun fight. And then I saw a secret boss, which was terrifying. I think I'm nearing the end of the full playthrough of this game very, very soon. And
nice.
If there's any way I can find there's so much content in the game. Like I can just start a new character. I already have 2 other characters, so I could do that. But I'm absolutely loving this game. Like I said before, it's my favorite game right now on PSVR2. And just between that and of course talked about the big news from the anniversary, kind of continued that conversation. It's been interesting watching this conversation around PC VR support and everybody's different take on it, because they were so vague about it, and it seems pretty obvious that they were probably kind of intentionally vague here. But yeah, everybody seems to kind of have a different theory. Like, some people think it's like something that you would launch from your PS5 and PSVR2, or some people think that it'll be some kind of software interface support where you can actually plug your PSVR2 into the PC. And then there's some people that are like, no. You're going to stream your PC to your PS5 and then play it on PSVR. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Now, I mean, well, I get where the theory is coming from. I'm like, I don't know. That sounds like a hassle, and that sounds like ridiculous having to run a PC and a PS5 to play PCVR with PSVR2. I don't see that one. Though I could be wrong, who knows? But I'm leaning towards the either plugging it into a PC or having some kind of like app that's available to purchase, or not to purchase, to play, to launch games on.
Yeah, it is crazy. This is very much the Resident Evil 4 remake VR mode all over again. It's very much the Gran Turismo 7 announcement all over again.
Yep.
It is just, not giving us the information that we need in order to be excited about your announcement. Like, it's like it's very typical Sony at this point. And so I've kind of chosen to just put it on the back burner, man. As far as news is concerned, it's very backburnered, and I'm not going to think about it until they mention it again with more details, because it's pointless right now. Everyone has their own opinion, and all of the opinions make a lot of sense the more you think about them. And so I'm just putting it in the back of my mind because it's not worth thinking about. It's definitely not worth arguing about. So I'm just going to leave it alone for now. But still, dude, no matter how you look at it, I do find it exciting to see that Sony's, seeing a bigger potential for PSVR2 and trying to expand it to make it as versatile as possible. Which, for a device that a lot of people think that Sony's completely forgotten about or just don't care about, it's not a move that seems like they would be making, but yet here they are and they're doing it.
We've said this before. This is the Sony that we like. The Sony that emerged from the second half of the PS3 generation, where they're getting slapped around to the point they're finally losing at something. And what are they losing at? They're losing the VR battle right now against Meta, and at least narratively against PC. Like with Valve or whatever.
I don't even think narratively. I think sales wise. I think support. Yeah, I mean everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Sony that I like to see when they have to fight back.
Yep.
This is why we preach competition is a really good thing. Because if you look at what Sony was doing without any competition or ignoring the competition,
yep,
then you saw what happened. They get complacent, they get slapped around. I mean, let's be fair. They've done a lot of really good things in the last year. So it's not like they were super complacent, but there was definitely a disconnect between them and the community, and what people want and consumers and stuff. And that's, last generation, that was exactly what they were, that made them so successful, was seeming like they had their, listening to every single thing that people were asking for and delivering on it. Maybe just the stars were aligned at that time, or they just really didn't want to lose any single customer possible, and did everything they could to try to please everybody at once. And but yeah, it's a good start. I think adding some kind of PC support, I'm personally, well, if you don't have a PC, I understand, wanting some app from the PS5. I want that, and I want also to be able to use my PSVR2 on my PC rig. I absolutely would like to see that happen, because I think that opens up tons of use for the thing. And that's the first step. Now they just need to give us some of those first party remasters like Astrobot and Blood and Truth and Wipeout and Persistence remastered. That's the next step, in my opinion, to really being a crowd pleaser.
SB with the £5 says ads suck.
They do suck.
Agreed. That's why you should get YouTube Premium. I will cancel.
Now, please enjoy this sponsor, this 45-minute ad about anti-ad software.
Right. Yeah, no, the getting YouTube Premium was probably the best thing I had done. I've canceled Hulu. I've canceled a bunch of different streaming services that I just stopped using as much as I used to. But what I found was that on YouTube, I was hesitant to even click on certain ads, because I knew that I would click on certain videos because I knew that I'd have to sit through an ad before I even got to figure out if this was the video I was looking for. And dude, I use YouTube so much more than any other streaming service these days. I've been trying to expand what I'm watching on YouTube, and I've found a lot of great content out there. So YouTube Premium has been amazing. So I agree, SB, ads suck. If you use an ad blocker, by all means, use it. Please don't advertise that you take money out of our pockets in the chat. Living
Fat
Legend.
Balls.
Oh, go ahead. Fat Balls is a great name.
Fat Balls.
Let's talk about Fat Balls.
Just wants to say thanks, AJ and Bryan, for suggesting legendary tales.
Well, you know what? Here, we recommend good games.
We try to.
Yeah. I mean, like,
I think we mostly do.
Yeah, there's always going to be people that don't like what we like, but I mean, I do feel like we've got a pretty good track record these days. Although Ven VR Adventure, I will say, so this is definitely a little bit more divisive of a game than I expected. I think you and I both agree that it's like maybe below average. But
mid.
Yeah, like, I mean, I ended up with a 5.7, called it meh. Right. And I was like, I could have gone up to a 6, but I was like, you know what? They need to fix some of these bugs and glitches and shit and just make the whole thing a little bit more enjoyable before I even get to a 6. Because 6 is like not bad. You know, I feel like meh is more applicable to Ven. But something I didn't expect to happen was a conversation that popped up in the comments of the review talking about trophies. And I had mentioned, you know, as a game that's a collectathon, I lost interest in collecting everything in the game when I realized there was no platinum trophy to strive for. And of course, this spawned a huge conversation about trophies and how important platinum trophies are, which is why this poll is here, man. So I'm going to switch over and look at, I'm going to end the poll. Thank you everybody for voting. And it looks like we had 259 votes. How important is a platinum trophy in a VR game? 40% of you said not at all. 38% of you, almost the same amount, said somewhat. And then 20% of you said it's essential. So that gives us about, you know, I'm not good at math. Yeah, so 40% of you say it's not, platinum trophies are not important at all, which is a pretty big percentage. AJ, how important do you think platinum trophies are when you're playing a PSVR2 game?
I think they're, I mean, I guess it depends on the person. For me,
to you,
to me,
we already know what the people think. They just voted.
Yeah. To me personally, I think they're very important. Although I haven't been as active as trophy hunting, they did lose a little muster for me because not too long ago, before this Stars Rewards program, there was the Sony Rewards program, and you could literally earn points by getting platinum trophies, and then you could cash out those points on like on cards like PSN cards or gear, PlayStation gear. So there was a lot more motivation for me back then because it was like, oh, I'm getting platinum trophies for fun, and I'm like, you know, it feels more meaningful. These days, I think if I had more free time, like I think if I wasn't doing YouTube and having to cover every single game, I'd probably still like really be honed in on trophy hunting, but I just don't have the free time like that I used to. And I think most people probably don't have the free time. But I will say I think they're important in terms of like replay value, discovering some things about, you know, games that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. And there's a couple games out there like Ven that I have no desire to go back and finish 100% because there's no platinum trophy. I really wish Synth Riders had a platinum trophy. So yeah, while I don't hunt them down like I used to, I think I've got like 34, 35. I think they're a great way to add extra content to a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, since we're talking about Ven, we might as well show some Ven. Yeah, dude, back in the PlayStation 3 era, you know, like before I was doing YouTube content, and I could just play whatever I wanted to, whenever I wanted to. The Trophy Horror Wars with Podcast Beyond were just some of the most fun times in gaming that I had, playing all sorts of crappy games. because it was fun to get trophies for him. And so I think at the time I was buying games off of Amazon, and then this is when Amazon would actually buy games back from you and sell them used. And so like it was almost like this weekly thing. I'd have like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs coming in, Hannah Montana the movie, the game coming in, and I just played these kind of like silly games. And I actually and because of it, I actually found a bunch of games that were like way more fun than they should have been. And the fact that I was actually collecting trophies and everything like that made it even more fun. And so that kind of carried into the PlayStation 4 VR era for me. But yeah, I mean, these days, if I don't platinum the game when I'm reviewing it, then I'm not platinuming it. Like I've just come to terms with the fact that like it's over. It's over. Once I publish the review, I'm probably not getting back to that game anytime soon, probably within a year. And so, I guess Without Parole has caused me to not care as much about platinum trophies, but I do still see the value there. There's that replayability proposition that like is missing when you don't have a platinum trophy. That only applies to apparently 58% of our audience. So it's good to know. It's good to know, things that, like when I'm reviewing a game, it's good to know like when, the things that you agree with me about, like how important are trophies? Like, well, if Bryan thinks they're more important than I do, and so maybe you give the game a little bit more leeway than I do. It's important to know.
I don't think I deduct points for that. Like I wouldn't deduct points from a game, but it certainly is like a bonus. Like it's to me, it's something that can only really help.
Yeah.
It can be disappointing, but that's not something I actually am inclined to. I mean, yeah, I don't know. If it took away any points from a score, it'd be so small, so tiny.
It's pretty minimal. Yeah. But again, like, so I guess when it comes to Ven, the game itself wasn't good enough for me to want to go back and do the full collectathon and find everything that I missed. And so that's when trophies become more important. Because then the gameplay didn't deliver. It didn't go, Bryan, you got to get back in here, and it sucks you in and unlock stuff as you collect things. That's not there. That's not part of Ven. And so then you do rely on trophies, and then if
to motivate you.
Exactly. So it's kind of a balancing act, and if one's not there, the other better be. And in Ven's case, neither one was. So that's kind of a shame. But fingers crossed, man. Let's hope Astrobot makes his appearance this year, because we need some good fucking 3D platforming. Actually, Max Mustard is looking pretty good. I gotta be honest. Every time they show that game off, it looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
5.7. We got Living Legend with the Canadian $5 tip. Says, happy MonJay, Bryan. Oh no, happy MonJay Cats. Bryan, I thought there were no streams happening this week. Why? Guess we got some PSVR2 news after all. No, it's
PSVR this week. Yeah, that's happened to me before.
Right. Okay. So I put up a post that said no episode of PSVR2 this week. Yeah. And that's it. Because dude, no one understands that episodes of PSVR this week take like all day to do. Got to find all the news, got to script it, got to voice it, got to edit it, got to, just putting the information in on each title card is like exhausting. And so it's a whole day thing. And there wasn't like a lot of stuff coming out this week that I thought anybody cared about. And I figured let's spend the weekend playing games that need Bryan Bytes, that need reviews, that need coverage on GAMESCAST. Because dude, the number of games coming out is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And so I just needed to spend some time actually playing games for the channel. So apologies if I worded that incorrectly. I obviously did word it incorrectly because the number of people who responded by saying, enjoy the time off. I was like, no, I'm not taking time off. But I mean, thank you. Maybe I'll take some time off. Grandpa's Barbecuer with the level 1 membership says, you know what's good food? Grandpa's Barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Come cook for me, Pappy.
Why does it sound so seductive when he says this? That's not the intention, is it? We got Thundercat. Gamecat. No, just Thundercat. With the £5 says, had the worst day, then dentist, and then remembered it's GamesCast. Felt much better. Thank you. AJ, love your show.
Yes. You're welcome. I'm here for you always. I love it. Yes.
Oh man, I'm like,
Welcome to my show.
oh man, that was. I don't. Okay.
Delivery.
God damn, I'm fucking crying right now. This is what happens when you only when you listen to the audio stream. Man Bear Pig Game Cat with the $2 tip says, Brian, do you ever watch yourself on YouTube? LOL. I don't. You know why? Because if I did, I would never fucking do this ever again. It's I hate myself. I mean, like, in so many senses of the word, right? People who can watch themselves are much stronger men than I. AJ, do you ever watch yourself on YouTube? I can't do it.
I used to watch myself just to, like, you know, kind of like proofread it, like be like, did I get this right? Did I get this wrong? Like, I'll watch myself to keep myself and to, like, check myself. You know what I mean? But I don't watch myself, like, for entertainment. No, my ego's not that big.
If it makes you feel better, I also don't watch you for entertainment. Oh man. Like I said, I have been watching a lot of other YouTube channels lately, and kind of like seeing like what other people do, and like just not in the VR space. Like I said, watching VR channels becomes work. So I've been watching retro channels and like just kind of social commentary channels, and really, really enjoying some of the content that's out there, and really discovering some of these awesome content creators that I've never heard of that have, you know, millions and millions of subscribers. And I've just been finding YouTube to be a lot more fun. And man, I hope I can capture some of the fun that I've been witnessing, and kind of like bring it in here, because I don't know, man. I don't know. I always say I don't have a sense of humor. Like I'm clearly not funny, but I don't know. We'll see. I want to give it a little shot. I want to see if I can just it'll be kind of a little bit funny. But I'm not funny. I'm fucked.
Pretty funny when
on your show.
You on the surface. As long as you don't actually get to know you, you're pretty funny.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, once you get to know me, it's all over.
I'm just kidding, man.
AJ used to like look up to me and be like, oh, Brian, you're so cool. And then he met me and he was like, you are a big piece of shit. Living legend with the Canadian $5 tip says, speaking of platinum trophies, I wish Nintendo had something similar on the Switch to show your platforming skills in Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. LOL.
Ooh, great game.
Yeah. Why?
Tropical Freeze is so amazing.
Why just that game? I'm confused.
I don't know. We've been talking about that game a lot, right? I know we've been mentioning it. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
Came up in voice chat recently.
We talk about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze a lot just because it's such an amazing game. It's one of the best platformers I've ever played.
It's never played it.
It's incredible. It's very difficult though.
I feel like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze came out on Wii U when like there was just too much 2D Nintendo going on in the Wii U. It was like they're like, we're going to bring all of our franchises to the Wii U to get people to buy the Wii U, and all of it was just like, oh, here's another 2D Yoshi game, here's another 2D Kirby game, here's another 2D. I was like, Donkey Kong game. I was like, and it kind of came out, and I'd seen the amazing reviews, but I loved my Wii U, but I never got around to playing that one.
Yep.
Mark Pringlesleaf with the £2 says, if a game has collectibles, a platinum is a must.
Yeah. It pairs really well with collectibles.
Agreed. 30 minutes in.
Trials.
30 minutes in, AJ. I feel like we should maybe start the show.
Probably a good idea.
You guys know that we love you all so very much, but every single Monday, I still haven't fixed the transition. I'm sorry. We like to thank a whole separate group of people. Dude, somebody's gonna fucking remind me to do this shit. I forget until right now every Monday. AJ,
set reminder to remind Brian to fix guy.
and make sure you set that reminder for tonight. Because if anybody
it'll remind me at some point.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna be next Monday at 5:45 p.m. Like,
at 6:33.
Yeah, exactly.
So halfway through the show, hey Bryan, fix the
reminder. Yeah, excellent.
I got you,
AJ. Who else do we want to thank these Mondays?
We would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing the name to something GameCat related, or something GameCat adjacent, as you and something GameCat adjacent like to say. Man, I feel like I got the giggles today a little bit. Like,
at least you're not crying. I fucking almost broke down in tears a few minutes ago.
We would like to something about supporting people that change the name. And this week we have 3 new GameCats to welcome to the GameCat Dojo. Which there should be a really cool animation here that makes a great, awesome 90s cartoon action sound, but it doesn't exist right now. But I've got a reminder to remind Bryan halfway through next week's show.
Perfect. I can't wait.
Starting with Sirens on my GameCat.
Bing! Siren. So now, just to clarify, we do have, or did have, I hope he's still kicking around the community. We did have Sirens on my end, the GameCat, right? And so this is just Sirens on my GameCat, which I feel like Tornado would object to if I tried to strap one onto her. I said strap on. I'm talking about a cat. This isn't going well.
God.
I know. AJ,
let's move on.
Mature audiences only.
Something GameCat MonJay. Woo!
Bing!
I love it. Now that's the creativity that I like.
Yeah, that's pretty creative.
Recognize,
recognize whose show it is first.
Whose show it is.
And then make it referential to the show. I like that. No, he's firing on all cylinders. He's doing a great job.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's a really good one. I like the adjacent names here. We got a lot of adjacent cats today. I like it. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, we've got hashtag Gaza Cambo Blue GameCat.
Bing! There's a lot of shit going on in this on this name, but I did see GameCat in there. I don't know what a Cambo Blue is. I definitely, when I Googled it, and I think there's a type of spider that this is referencing. I have no idea. I have no idea. Guys, if you change your name to GameCat because you love us almost as much as we love you, make sure you put hashtag GameCat in the comments below any Without Parole video. So AJ on his show can give you a shout out next Monday.
Scared me. You yelled at me.
Yeah. You're not used to it by
now? Yeah, no. I'm used to, I'm Bryan.
I'm Bryan.
I love you all.
What's going on, you guys? I'm really depressed. Stayed in bed most of the day. Hope you guys keep watching, even though I'm real boring. Maybe if I bring AJ on the show, you'll watch. Oh, man. I feel like a hyena today. All my laughs are like these high-pitched, like, hyena. Yeah, just like that. I hear it coming out of me and I can't stop it. Dude.
Oh my goodness.
This is why I don't smoke pot anymore, man, because the whole show would just be this.
You would die laughing.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I don't smoke pot. AJ, let's bring the mood down considerably and let's talk about Supermassive Games. Did you see the tweet they put out today?
I did. But let me pull it up because I don't know what it says.
Here, I'll pull it up too. It says, here, I'm going to interact with this, and then we're going to go full screen on it. It says, it's no secret that the games industry is currently facing significant challenges, and unfortunately, we aren't immune to this. After much deliberation and with deep regret, we are therefore undertaking a reorganization of Supermassive Games. As a result, we are entering into a period of consultation, which we anticipate will result in the loss of some of our colleagues. This is not a decision that's been taken lightly, with many efforts made to avoid this outcome. We are all too aware of how unsettling and difficult this process is going to be for all of our employees, and will be working closely with all of those involved to ensure the process is conducted as respectfully and compassionately as possible. We're committed to focusing our efforts on our core strengths and upcoming titles to ensure the continued sustainability of the community.
Company.
The company.
What they're saying is they don't give a shit about the community. No. Yeah, it's unfortunate news, man. All these layoffs lately, like, and they're just like, hey, you've seen what's going on. Yeah, it's happening to us too. It's unfortunate, man. It's the games industry is really losing a lot of awesome developers and stuff, and it's sucky having to see this happen to so many developers. But you know, it's kind of just, you know, that's part of the nature of big businesses and things like that. And, you know, you never like to see it. I hope these people land on their feet. And yeah, this obviously doesn't really have anything to do with Switchback VR. It's not like related to Switchback. It's not like, oh, Switchback didn't make enough sales. And no, they make several other games. They make Until Dawn. They made The Quarry. They made
all the Dark Pictures
anthology. Yeah. And so it's just, you know, they're reassessing things from a much bigger level. But the reason we're talking about it is because they are the developers behind Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, and Switchback VR.
Yeah. A little crazy to see that. I mean, so we've got what's coming up? We've got sorry, something didn't work right there. There we go. It's a little crazy. We got the Until Dawn remake has been announced, and it seems Supermassive Games is not at the helm of that, right? You know, everybody on PSVR2 is asking for either a remake or a remaster or just a port of Until Dawn Rush of Blood, and they're, you know, clearly they're not doing that. It's just it's a little weird. You got to wonder what happened between Sony and Supermassive and why they're not working that closely with them anymore. Switchback, we don't know what happened behind the scenes with Switchback. We don't even know if that was funded by Sony. Clearly it's, you know, it's still a PSVR2 exclusive, but was that because they, you know, only had the money to develop it for one platform? You know, Until Dawn hits home for a lot of PlayStation owners. Like, it's an important title. And so like having this sort of spiritual spin-off sequel makes sense to have Switchback on a PlayStation console, but I'm not sure if it makes a whole lot of sense, you know, outside of that. This is a lot of rambling, which means a whole lot of nothing. It's just weird, man. I feel like there's been a lot of decisions, and I think worse, I wonder how much of this is really on Supermassive, because a lot of their games have come out and just sort of been like average. You know, it seems like they do the quantity over quality thing.
Yeah, and that's what I've noticed is like their games never like their games don't get like 9 out of 10s. Like people generally like their games, but they're not like these, you know, 9 out of 10s or big like system seller stuff. I mean, yeah, it seems like they are making a lot of stuff. That's their kind of in-house stuff, I'm guessing. And then there's stuff like Until Dawn, which they were getting funded from Sony. I did see some speculation or something about some conversation. I don't know how accurate this is, but something about, you know, they maybe had like a deal for like an Until Dawn 2 or something, and then they chose to develop a game exclusive for Stadia. And then obviously we saw how that went, and then maybe that hurt their relationship with Sony a little bit. I don't know how much I buy all that, but the other speculation is that everyone's being replaced by AI because there's a big AI surge in companies these days. And that's way more believable.
I mean, I do feel like if there's one company that could get away with being like, hey, our AI is going to make our next game, I feel like maybe it's Supermassive. They want to be like, oh yeah, this feels like a Supermassive game. AI created.
But yeah, it's unfortunate because obviously we still want to see I want to see them do more. Like, I want to see them continue supporting Switchback VR with updates, and I want to see them remaster Rush of Blood. But that's kind of, you know, it's not as simple as just asking them because they don't own the IP. So it's kind of a tricky situation.
Yeah. regardless of the reasons, regardless of how they got here, the fact is they're here and they're laying off. I think the number was 25% of their staff, which is really unfortunate. This has been a terrible year. And the past year has been a terrible year for gaming, and especially game developers. So
yeah, I'd say game developers. It's been a great year for gaming.
yeah. AJ's like, I got my Final Fantasy VII. Fuck everything else. That's all that matters.
I played that demo actually. Now that you mention it,
how was that?
It was good. Yeah,
good call.
That's my full review.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't like. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I was watching GameScoop and I saw Justin Davis was talking about basically the premise of the Final Fantasy VII remake, which isn't, I guess, it's a massive spoiler to talk about, which is why I won't say anything. But it's the entire premise of the remake is not what I thought it was. It's more than just a remake.
Yeah, don't spoil anything.
Exactly. That's what I'm.
The game comes out in a couple days.
No, not the new one.
I have a feeling.
Not the new one. The first one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Please, not that I've even played the first one, or
I've beaten it 7 times.
Wow. Okay.
100%ed it twice.
AJ, did you see that Wander Fragments of Fate got a price announcement?
Yes, dude.
Wow.
Wanderer, man.
Okay.
I'm so excited about this game. I mean, this is like, something that nobody should be sleeping on. I don't care if you are new to VR or haven't heard of Wanderer before. I'm telling you, this is a big deal. This is a huge, like, Half-Life Alyx tier game. Saints and Sinners, a Half-Life Alyx. This is the next one, the next, like, big game, off the top of my head, that's coming, that people need to be ready for, because this is obviously, you and I played through the first game, and it's one of the greatest VR games I've ever played and experienced, and I think it's one of the best ever made. And yeah, they announced the price. Is it $49.99?
Indeed, and 20% off if you have the PSVR1 version.
Ooh.
Yep. A little bit of this. And I don't want to throw any shade here, by the way, to, you know what, actually, hold on, time out, real quick here. Since we're on the topic of Wanderer yet again, Mighty Eyes gave a donation during Friday's show. And I said, thank you so much, but we're going to refund it because we don't accept money from developers. Dude, did you know you can't refund super chats?
Oh, you can't like cancel it? I guess they have to do it on their end.
I thought I could just go into the into my little UI after the show was over and just click a little button that says refund. Cannot do that. And so I got on a customer support call with YouTube being like, hey, can I refund this? And they asked why, and I explained it to them. They said that makes sense. And then after a couple of minutes, they were like, nope, you can't. There's just nothing you can do. And I was like, shit. So somebody did suggest that taking any money that was given to me or us from developers that we give to like some kind of charitable organization. And so I'm going to be looking into that and making sure that it's really difficult to be like, hey, just to try to monitor something you can't control and say, hey, no one can give money. So anytime a developer does give money from now on, it will be going to a charity, which we will decide eventually.
Cats, a cat charity.
Yeah, maybe. That would be great.
Yeah, and dogs. I like dogs.
Cats it is. No, I love dogs. I love dogs. Anyway, so dude, getting back to the price of this game, does it or does it not feel to you like they had this conversation internally where they were like, man, we don't want to piss off people who already bought this game. We got to make sure we give them a discount. Sure, but I feel like the price is $50 because they were like, because of the 20% off they want to give to PSVR1 owners to make it $40. I feel like without that, it just would have been $40. Is that not the vibe you're getting from the price?
No, the vibe I'm getting is that the game was $40 when it came out on PSVR1.
Yeah.
And they have enhanced it for next gen systems, and they've added a lot of content, and they've added hopefully at least $10 worth of content. And this game was over 10 hours long. It was. I thought when I played it, I think I think I played it for over 10 hours. Maybe it was like 12, 13 or something. But it felt like a full game. It felt like a really huge game and a really high quality one. So I remember at the time I was kind of like, like I'm okay with the $40. Like, yeah. I think that's going to hurt them sales wise originally, but yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, no, for sure. We thought they were crazy when they announced the price and the release date. It was just on the same day as Zenith, and then the price was $40. We're like, they're out of their minds. This thing isn't going to sell. But we had no idea how good it was either. And now that we know, totally different story. It does. I 100% agree with you. Based on what we've seen, the expansion of the environments, all the new gameplay elements, the new puzzles, the new items, how they've kind of reworked everything. It absolutely seems like a $50 game. And I am so excited for this game. I'm so excited for this. Like, I just feel like these guys pushed the PSVR 1 in a way that very, very few studios did. And then here we are, a PSVR 2. They had no trouble saying we're just going to release it when it's done. I feel like the release window has sort of been moving in flux with their development cycle. And I just feel like it's going to be very, very special when it gets here. I'm sure it's going to look amazing. I can't wait to see how it feels because these haptics are going to be incredible. This is the kind of $50 game that we want to see. Very, very exciting.
Yeah. I think I'd pay $50 for this, assuming it's more than what the first game was. We just had this conversation recently about Legendary Tales and it being $55, and to me, it's like that is a no-brainer. I mean, I have 56 hours out of that game. Wanderer, I think, is going to be a little bit different. It's not, because Legendary Tales is a huge, deep RPG. And yeah, like I said, I've got 50 hours. You can get about 100 hours out of Legendary Tales. I don't think you can get 100 hours out of Wanderer.
Unlikely.
You're very highly unlikely.
Well, it is a puzzle game, so if you're really dumb...
well,
hundreds of hours.
It's a little bit different. I do kind of wish they stuck with the $40 price point. But I mean, me personally, it's like a no-brainer. I can't wait to play it. I'd imagine that it's going to feel like it's worth the $50. But it's more in a quality than it is like a longevity kind of thing. Like it again. It is let's just say for just to have something. I'd say it's maybe a 15-hour game, a 13-hour game. So it is like a full length, even by like flat screen standards, it's a full length game.
And that was the original one, like without the new areas, without the new puzzles. Absolutely.
Right. So this could be like a 20-hour game. But on top of that, it's also like a very high quality game and a very realistic, immersive, great story and all these things, storytelling and stuff. So I think for other reasons it should, if all goes well, it should also feel like it's worth the money. And I'm okay with this, man. If this is what it takes to get, a game like Legendary Tales, I actually went out and bought a copy of that game separately, like just to support it, just to say, look, I will put my money where my mouth is, and I'm telling you this game is worth $55. And to prove that, I went and bought somebody a copy of the game. Legit. Because I do want to be, I do want to be in the trenches supporting this stuff too, not just telling people to go support it, but I'll get in the trenches with you. And I'm pretty sure we're going to find ourselves in a similar situation with Wanderer, where it's like, yes, I want games that have AAA content or qualities or, length or whatever it is. I'm okay with paying that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny because I'm certainly not going to be running around buying copies of these games for people because I can't fucking afford to, but I wish I could. It'd be great.
Yeah, I can't afford to do that a lot often, but this was a special one.
Well, it's funny because people don't understand I've certainly gotten comments over the years from people saying, well, you got it for free, so like how can you really understand the value of a video game? I'm like, because I'm a fucking gamer, man, because we've been playing games our whole lives. We understand values of games. Like we've bought plenty of games. We don't get everyone for free. And on top of that, trust me, I want to point this out to anyone who doesn't understand. I would say if you look back at the first, I don't know, maybe 6 months of the period of when I got games for free, when the channel got big enough to where like different studios were like, hey, you know, we're interested in you reviewing our game. Here's a copy of it. I was like, there was an element of me being like, this is so fucking exciting. I'm playing this game before anyone else. Like there was this whole mentality of like, oh my God. And which influences like your feeling about a game. That fades really fucking fast, right? If you've ever gotten a review key and you're like, well, I know what it feels like. Well, then make it your job and do it for years, and then tell me how it feels, and you'll come across you'll have a much different opinion about all of that. Very much get to the point where you're like, it's getting it for free doesn't matter, right? So
you can't afford it, man. You literally can't afford to buy and review every single game. I've tried that, and I went from having lots of money from the job, from working really hard, to being broke. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore unless I can get keys. And plus, you can't buy a game early. Like developers don't give you an option.
That's it, right there.
To purchase a game early, and so the only thing you can do is to have a review ready for launch is to get a review key in advance.
Right. And if that's the real benefit of getting a review key. It's less about the money that you save. It's more about having the opportunity to have a review done for release time. It's a tough situation, and I know that if you've never been in the situation, it's tough to really understand like what we're talking about or how these how these feelings kind of like evolve and change over time. But certainly this is where I am now, and that's that. I don't know how we got into it. I just kind of wanted to cover it while we were sort of on the topic. Yeah. AJ, there's we got a lot to talk about.
We should probably probably keep this going.
So AJ, basically, what I wanted to talk about was the games that are coming out in March, the ones that we're aware of right now. This is an interesting month, AJ. And we can go through these one by one, quickly give a little, scale on our hype meter and decide like, which one of these we're excited for, which one of these we're not excited for. But it's an interesting month. And I think as we go through them, people are going to see that I don't know there's too many big releases or like exciting games coming in March, but there's a lot of games that satisfy these small niche areas of VR gaming. So I think it's interesting that way. It's an action-packed month. It's going to be a good month, but like there's certainly no wonder or fragments of fate happening this month, right? There's not going to be this big game that satisfies everybody.
I'm really only seeing one big game.
Yeah.
Out of the whole list, out of a lot of games, and then a lot of maybes or a couple maybes, and then a couple that I'm like I have zero interest in.
All right, well then let's kick it off with the first one, and I think only one of these do we have access to that we can actually talk about, and we'll talk about it when we get there. So the first one, March 1st, is Mixture, coming to us from Played with Fire. Now, I guess I was wrong right off the bat because AJ, you did play a demo of this, correct?
Mixture?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. I played the Steam VR demo. And yeah, it's a platformer hack and slash with the ugliest mascot you could ever imagine. There's some cool things about it, and I'm hoping it's really good, but the environments are really pretty, well designed. But I don't know. I'm really looking for like a new platformer. Like we really need like a very good platformer to complement poor old Quill out there by herself, holding it down for all the mascots. There are some likable things about this game that I played from the demo for sure. But I need to play more of it to really form a full opinion on it.
I hate the art style of this. I don't think I've seen anything in the trailers that looks interesting to me. I'm not excited for this whatsoever. AJ, so based on what you've played so far, give me a 1 to 5 on your hype meter. How excited are you?
I wish the mascot wasn't so damn ugly.
Yep.
If the mascot wasn't so ugly, like it'd probably be a 3. But the mascot's so ugly, so I'm gonna give it a 2.
All right, I'm giving it a 1.
The environments are nice. The environments are actually was really the only thing that really stood out to me. Was like I was like, oh, like this is kind of cool looking.
Is it platforming? Like it looks like these levels are designed for platforming. What's the mix? Is it mostly platforming? Is it mostly combat?
Yeah, it's a little bit of mix of platforming and combat.
Okay.
It kind of, like I said, it tries to do what Moss does, but it doesn't do it anything nearly as well as Moss does.
Well,
go buy Moss.
Yeah, go buy Moss for sure. You know, and I think it's important to look at these games, you know, the same way I did with Ven. You can't be like comparing Ven to an Astrobot. I mean, you can certainly say, man, Astrobot's way more polished and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, Astrobot costs twice as much money, right? So you can't compare them 1-to-1. Although, you know, when it comes down to it, it's like if there's better games out there that are doing better things that are in the same genre, then I guess you should be comparing them.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I played the PSVR version, and this game comes out in 4 days and we don't have review keys. That's not a good sign.
That's a really bad sign.
I cannot even speak to the PSVR2 quality.
Okay. Rainbow Reactor Fusion coming out March 1st by TunerMax VR. I mean, how much do you know about this?
A little bit.
Yeah. AJ, it's a match 3 puzzle game. Did that
I hate everything.
You? Yeah.
I hate everything.
Yeah. It's literally a match 3 puzzle game where you're like throwing the balls manually. Yeah.
I got excited to hear when I heard it was called Rainbow Reactor. I think that's the most exciting thing about the game. Because you were saying me too?
No, I was like, you mean you're not excited by the floating robots that talk incessantly while you're trying to play a game?
No. I was like, ooh, Rainbow Reactor. That sounds sweet. Like, sounds colorful. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, why is it so dark and gray and metallic and like bland looking? I think
it's to make the rainbow balls stand out more. It's like they look even more bright and vibrant and colorful.
It's not a good strategy.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I'm not crazy about puzzle games to begin with. They got to be something like really exceptional. And I'm good on this one. I'll probably pass playing it entirely.
Really? Okay. I'm actually playing it for review right now. I haven't played nearly enough. I promise you to even like give a proper hype meter. So I'm giving a hype based on the trailer alone, based on what kind of game it is. I'm going to go with 2.
I'm going to go with 1 here.
Okay, so we got another 3.
Can I do 0?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'll do 0.
Okay. I guess in all fairness, I did say 1 to 5. So 0 to 5 it is. Next up from Jeff Minter over at Llamasoft, March 8th, we got Akka Arrh. Is it supposed to be pirate themed? Is that what Arrh?
I don't know. It's not even English. It's like,
I don't think it's any language.
It's like a coughing hack sound. Like,
better than a hyena laugh, I guess.
This is made by Jeff Minter, like you said, creator of Polybius and
Moose Life.
Moose Life.
Yep.
Typically, these tend to be very trippy games. I don't know if I've seen much gameplay on this one.
Yeah.
But all you have to say is Jeff Minter, and I'll like kind of know what to expect.
I mean, yeah, if nothing else, your ears perk up and go, well, this should be a feast for the eyes, right? Because it's like always these always this voxel pixel art style with like the explosions coming at your face in VR, always, running at 120 FPS, like super high resolution. Like it's gonna be visually interesting.
It's usually like sensory overload. Where
that's a better phrase for it.
Like the colors, the sound effects. It is just like in your face. And and for that reason I like it. I still wish he would bring Polybius to us, man, because Polybius is so damn good.
Yep.
And I like he really, of all the games, just bring Polybius to us. But I am looking forward to this because it'll still have that spirit. I don't know if it'll be. I doubt it'll be as good as Polybius, but it'll still be in the same spirit as it. And with the HDR and the higher resolution, and probably 120 frames per second, it's gonna be kind of cool. Probably, hopefully,
dude. This has been sitting on my hard drive for over a month. I haven't even checked it out yet. Like, this is my problem, dude. Like. It almost makes me like really understand when people are like, where are the games for PSVR 2? Because we're definitely getting into the weeds here a little bit with these really small indie titles, in sub genres of genres that you really have to be kind of diehard to care about. And like, I'm a retro gamer, so like this obviously has my interest. I love Jeff Minter games, so it has my interest. But man, like it's kind of sad that like, the only thing that really excites me that's happening this month are the horror games, right? Just because that's a genre that I will always love, right?
Please. That's the same thing that excites you every month.
It's true. No, I 100% agree with that. But we need, we need these big announcements to kind of keep people excited. Like PSVR 2 is my beat. I can totally get burnt out on it because I'm playing it every single day. I've got to play all the games that no one else wants to, or that like no one else cares about. It's fine. It's like my cross to bear, Oh my God, I'm a poor YouTuber. Oh, somebody feel bad for me. I play video games for a living. But I think that's why I get like kind of burnt out on these titles, because I've got to play them all. So I need some bigger announcements rolling in, because we're only a couple titles in and I'm already like brain dead. What I mean?
Yeah. See, I avoid this by not playing everything anymore. Like I just, I'll definitely be playing this one because I want to play this one. Yep. But like you said, this is a smaller bite-sized game. Just
like a Bryan bite? Do you think it's going to be a Bryan bite?
Like a Bryan bite. No. Like a Bryan bite.
Yeah. This one actually probably deserves a full review because it's Jeff Minter. So,
well,
let's give me a hype rating. 0 to 5.
Looking at the gameplay, like, so you say Jeff Minter, you say, VR.
Yep.
Like, typically that would warrant basically a 3 for me. But looking at the gameplay and stuff, I'm going to say 2. Like, I'm looking forward to this. I might even enjoy it, but I'm not seeing anything that really... I mean, other than being a Jeff Minter game, I'm not seeing anything else that stands out about it.
That's the problem. If we didn't know this was a Jeff Minter game, I think that I would be like, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to go with 2 as well. And I do feel as though this is going to be a game that once we start playing, we're going to be like, this is so fucking cool. But I haven't started playing it. And there's a reason when something's sitting on your hard drive for a month and you're like, oh my God, it's not out. I get to be one of the first people to play it. I'm going to give it a great score just because I'm so excited to get it for free. It's like, but because of that, because but when it's still sitting there on your hard drive and you still haven't played it after a month, you're like, man, maybe I'm just not excited about this. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I think hopefully I'll feel different once I start it up. Stilt is coming to us on March 8th from Rect Games. Let me bring up a trailer here.
From what games?
REKT, Rect.
Okay. Yeah, this one I'm actually kind of excited about.
Okay. You could have bet me $1,000 and I would have lost. That is not the reaction I thought you would have had to Stilt.
No. I've actually been excited about this game. Did you premiere this game at the awards show?
I think so. At least the PSVR2 version, if nothing else.
So here's the thing.
I'm about to get my $1,000 back.
I really like platformers. and I'm really in the mood for a platformer. And I think this one with the music, with the Mario ripoff music, and it looks goofy as heck.
Yeah.
But it looks like it could be fun and challenging. I don't know. I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give this one a 3 because I'm gonna give it a chance.
I like platformers. I, however, am not excited about this game because it's a platformer. I'm excited about this game because I love insane locomotion systems in VR. Like the very first time, to the top, dude,
Vector,
Windlands. Like the very first time I hit the jump button in the first Windlands, forget about the grappling hooks. Like my stomach hit the floor and I was like, this is the coolest feeling I've ever felt. And that's never gone away. Like I just love just having this like crazy freedom in VR games. And so that's why I'm excited for this. I don't know if it looks terribly interesting, but I'm with you. I at least want to get in there to feel the feeling of moving around the world. And that's why I'm giving it a 3 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I could see this going poorly, but I also see potential here. Like the whole how much it rips off like Nintendo.
Yep.
Like it looks very much like a Nintendo game and like an N64 game. But yeah, that's a really good point though. The crazy locomotion systems. If those feel really good, then yeah, that means that this will be really fun if it's got a good locomotion system.
Steve IRE in the chat says this is Toss. And I will say Toss, I really enjoyed Toss because of its locomotion system too. I just wish it was a little bit more.
I didn't like Toss very much.
I thought it was good. I thought, sorry, 6 out of 5, 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. Not bad.
I don't think there's anything terribly wrong with it. I just don't think it does anything that great either.
If it had just been a little bit more accurate, if I felt like I could always rely on my thrusts to get me to where I wanted to go, then I would have given it a higher score. I know. Dude, and I also didn't realize that when you said, when I said wrecked games, I didn't realize, did it sound like erect games?
It sounded like a wrecked game.
This is all the chat's talking about now.
Bambino Ramos says, erect games, we go hard for our fans. Oh, lordy.
Love it.
Correct games, we've got a bone to pick.
I didn't get it at all. I thought you just like didn't hear me, and then I realized like, oh, everybody heard me incorrectly.
And NGI keeps calling Rainbow Reactor rainbow balls for some reason.
Oh yeah, somebody. I think I saw somebody. Was it Mark? Who else was on about that too?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, listen, balls are nothing.
Anyways,
rainbow.
I'll give this one a shot. This looks like something I would enjoy, unless it's just so visually boring that I get tired of it.
I do. Look at what's happening in the game. You're bouncing around using the stilts, like these. What's a good word to describe the stilts? They're rubbery. Pogo sticky. Like there better be some fucking amazing haptics when you hit the ground and feel that, or it's mission fucking failed right off the bat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not a good sign, AJ, that we're almost halfway through the list and Stilt has our highest rating of 6 out of 10. Which brings us to System Critical 2. Game. We've got review keys for this, and there is no embargo. So let me throw up some footage here of me playing the game. AJ, how much of System Critical 2 have you had a chance to play?
I have played, I've beaten a couple levels of it. I've probably played around an hour of it.
Okay. I think I'm with you. And I've beaten 2 levels. And obviously I started with like the top left-hand corner. It seemed like these were like the easier beginner levels. I think there's 8 or 9 total. I think one unlocks after you beat all the 8 that are shown. What are your first impressions? We can't call this a review. We can't call this anything. Neither one of us have dived too deep.
What are your first impressions? I want to hear your first impressions first.
Okay. I'm worried is my first impression. My first impression is like, wow, the graphics are pretty clean. You know, the resolution could have been higher. You know, it's not doing much graphically. And so my first impression was like, wow, okay, 120 FPS native, great. This could have been sharper. Although, you know, sharp enough for what it's doing. I didn't love, you can see all these repeating textures in this ice world. It just, the repeating textures are very boring. and I felt like since I've only seen 2 worlds, it just the next world just felt like, oh, it's laid out differently than the first world with a different skin on all the platforms. That said, if it gets really challenging and the challenge gets exciting, I think I could be into this. But the first 2 levels have not gotten me there, which is probably not a good sign.
Yeah, so I think I've wanted to like this a lot more than I actually do. The game is supposed to be inspired by Mega Man, and I don't know if you know this or not. You probably should by now if we've only been friends for, I don't know, 6-7 years.
I've heard Mega Man 2, Mega Man, yeah.
Mega Man 2 is literally the reason I ever started gaming in the first place. Like what got me into gaming was walking in the store and the Mega Man 2 box art caught my attention. I was like, what is this? And then I looked at the back and I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing. Like looking at the gameplay and stuff. And then this game is supposed to be very much inspired by Mega Man. And obviously the big thing here is that you have a literal M-Buster on your hand. And I think in terms of like delivering that, it's kind of like, okay, this kind of shows you what it's like to be able to use a Mega Buster in VR, like built for VR. And I think in terms of that, they almost get it perfect. Like the haptics actually feel, this game has really good haptics and headset rumble. Did you notice that?
Headset rumble. I don't think I noticed the headset rumble.
The haptics are really good. The like the charging up, you can do like the charge shot with the M-Buster, and that feels really good with the haptics. The platforming is pretty tight, which is very, very important for a Mega Man inspired game, because that game teaches you to like jump off like right at the edge of stuff and time stuff just right. I think all that is actually done pretty well. My biggest problem is that it's just not Mega Man enough. Like it takes some things from Mega Man. Like you can even see the character select screen here is pretty good. But while it has like some of these like Mega Man concept things, obviously there's limitations due to like probably copyright. It
I mean, like there's an arm cannon in the game. Like I feel like we left Copyright Central hours ago.
I wish it was more Mega Man. Like the thing is that this game, it looks more like a shareware game for like, you remember like the DOS floppy disk, the shareware games, like, or like Doom, you know, like it looks like that without being kind of modernized, you know? And that's the thing. Like, I love the idea of taking retro inspired games or retro games and modernizing them, but you have to modernize them. You don't want all of the archaic and have everything that was bad about those games for that time. You want to evolve those things, make it have more what's the word? Quality of life features and things like that. This game really lacks a lot of quality of life features. I think I've run into a couple bugs here that messed me up. And there's a lot of features that are missing, and just the overall like polish and production values. I think I'd be more cool about this game as like a free game, like Cactus Cowboy. It's like I would like this on like the Cactus Cowboy echelon of free. But the idea of this so far, the idea of this being a paid game, I'm kind of like, no, I wouldn't want to pay money for this. But to kind of play it for a little bit, it would be kind of like okay for a little bit maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming out for $20, and I definitely take objection to the price. You know, yeah, like I just played Train Chase, and like Train Chase will be my first Bryan bite. And you know, that game was $6.99, I think, $7, and I feel like that's the territory we should be in for this. Because listen, I totally respect the developers, you know, like who's out there being like, this is the kind of game that I want to make, and you know, it's and really like delivering the game that you've always wanted to make, and here it is. It's you know, his take on Mega Man in VR, and but
as a product selling to consumers,
I think $6.99 is the right price point for this, and I hope it gets better. Now, one of the things that I want to point out here, this is you pick up items along the way. Picking up health and your shield stuff, fine, right? You use that stuff right away. And then everything else that's not you have like a gun that's holstered and your arm cannon. Anything that's not that doesn't have a place. Like if you pick up a shield, you have to carry that. And there's no like grip toggle. So you're just holding down the grip the whole time. And you can't holster it to put it away. So you're holding it during the platforming sections, during these battles, even if you don't want to use it, you're holding it the whole time. I feel like there should be holsters somewhere. There's got to be, because it's just, I don't want to carry this shit around. It makes all those items completely useless.
Yeah. At least like some of them, like the grenades. It's like, what am I going to do with this grenade? I can't use it right here. So all I'm going to do is carry it around a bunch, trying to carry this grenade with me when it's hardly useful. And yeah, there's a lot of problems with it, from like balancing, like you said, it needs a holster for the grenades. And
grenades are very, very area specific weapons. You want to save that shit for the final boss. Like you don't want to use that on some generic enemy along the way. And so yeah, I'm not even gonna take it with me.
Yeah, and retro games and stuff, they're like Mega Man and stuff, it had a lot of like charm and style to it, and this just this doesn't really like have like any like style at all. Like I said, it feels kind of like all of the dated, sums of its parts, and like it, I don't know, like I want to like this game, but as a $20 game, I would not. There's no way that I could comfortably recommend this at that price point. But like you said, I do respect that the developer had a vision, a shared vision of mine, in fact, which is bring Mega Man in VR. And I do like that I get to use an M-Buster in this, but that's not going to appeal to everybody. And if there's one thing that was really, really disappointing to me, is the music.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought it up.
Mega Man and retro games, they oftentimes had amazing soundtracks.
Yep.
The music is so god awful in this.
It's loud, it's repetitive, it's
so repetitive, and I cannot stand the music in this game.
Yep. I've said on multiple GAMESCAST that like I generally don't pay much attention to music as I'm playing unless it's really bad, right? Like if it's really good, it just amplifies whatever's happening. The situation just feels better. And if I'm paying attention to the music, if I'm really like keyed into it, that means it's bad. That means it doesn't fit, and it does not fit here.
I will definitely recognize good music and be like, oh, like this really enhances the moment and everything. And to be fair, I think there was like a level or two that had a little bit better of a soundtrack than others. But it gets so repetitive that by the end of it, you feel like you're losing your damn mind.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like some of these levels are kind of stretched out a little bit, and it's the same thing kind of over and over, and it's just like it just, and the music's repeating, the levels are repeating, and it's just, it's rough. But yeah, the music, I am definitely, that's probably one of the biggest things I am not a fan of with this.
Yep. So, like I said, I've only completed 2 of the levels. There are things I appreciate, I mean, it seems like it's going to get really challenging with the platforming, the combat. That's exciting to me. I'm looking forward to that. Also, there are moments where you're like, man, I really need to move forward, but I don't have any health or shields. And like, I know if I move forward, I'm going to die. And so then you start backtracking, looking for hidden areas. And there's definitely quite a few hidden areas in this game.
Yeah.
So it's, so there are things that I do appreciate. I really hope that the parts that I haven't seen, really lean into that more. And so got my fingers crossed that our first impressions are not going to be indicative of our final impressions.
Yeah, I don't know. I gave it like I first tried it and I was like, okay, like there's some things like here, and then I gave it another shot and tried to play it more, and I actually started running into other issues, like issues with the AI, and there was a level that I couldn't tell if the level was bugged or if I got turned around somehow, which is crazy because it's so linear.
I've gotten turned around and then ended up back to the beginning, and I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and I
wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like the fact that it's so copy and pasted that you can get turned around and it's a linear path, is pretty crazy.
Anyway, I'm giving this one a 2 on the hype scale because a couple of reasons. One, I haven't unlocked any of the special blasters yet. And according to the dev, he's like, they're really fucking cool. And I'm interested in unlocking those. And you just do that by progressing through the levels. And also, the platinum trophy looks kind of easy. Getting back to our initial conversation, it looks like all you have to do is just unlock all the blasters and beat all the levels, and you get the platinum trophy. I think so. I'll play through this for the platinum, which is.
I'm gonna have to go with a 1 here. Oof. This is I know it's rough. Like totally respect the developer for doing something like this, for loving Mega Man as much as I do, but this is not the Mega Man in VR I was hoping for.
Moving on, AJ, to March 7th for the EU and March 16th for us here in the States, coming to us from Nox Noctis, the sequel to Do Not Open, the VR exclusive OVRdark. Why do I have
0?
I fucking you're my least favorite person on the face of the planet right
now. 0.
Oh my god! But by all means, please explain yourself.
Well, because I really don't like cheap horror games. I've tried over and over. It was something that I really hated about. I hated all of the cheap horror games on PSVR 1, or at least felt cheap. And like they have to either be really good or really scary. And I don't know, man. Like I'm just tired of playing. There's so many horror games. There's so many good ones to choose from. Not everything can be a Propagation Paradise Hotel, unfortunately.
True.
But that's like one of those instances where it's like, okay, this is like amazing.
So then tell me, because I think we had we didn't have our hopes high for Propagation. We were like, it's probably going to be a cool version of the Quest version and blah blah blah. It's going to be like a kind of a simplified version of Saints and Sinners, not too exciting. What's got you kind of convinced already that this is more Don't Knock Twice and less Propagation?
I think hearing about what happened with Do Not Open kind of soured me, or any excitement or anticipation I had for this.
You mean the bad puzzles?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like just I didn't hear really much anything good about Do Not Open. So it's not just the bad puzzles; it's the bugginess, the jankiness, the lack of quality and polishness. All of these things, I think, are what classify a bad game as a bad game.
Sure.
And I don't know. I have to maybe try it, but I'm just in terms of excitement level, I have 0 excitement for this.
Okay. Well, I played Do Not Open, the flat screen original. Didn't play through the whole thing. Just kind of like jumped on Discord and played through some couple hours in voice chat. Some of the puzzles were terrible. Some of them were fine. I really liked the environments. I really liked the storytelling. I really liked it didn't feel buggy or janky or anything like that. It felt good, other than the fact that it was on the flat screen. And so I feel like this actually comes from a place of quality to a certain level, obviously, you got to make sure that the puzzles are in place and they actually make sense. But I also feel like that these guys stopped in their tracks at a certain point and said, this doesn't make sense. Like, we can't bring Do Not Open to VR because the puzzles require fucking pen and paper sometimes.
Yeah, that's right? Ridiculous.
And I think a lot of other developers would have said, who fucking cares? Bring it to VR. We're halfway there. Just do it. And these guys instead said, no, we need to make something that makes sense in VR. And I really, really respect them for that. Based on the minimal amount that I've played, the Steam VR demo, I think there could be something here. They're not making you retread the same places over and over. All the locations have great atmosphere. You generally plowing through it pretty quickly. You're not just. I think a lot of developers make sure that you have to retread the same environments because they spend so much time making them look nice. This doesn't feel like that, at least not so far. I'm sure maybe once I get into maybe the core area where the game takes place, I may find myself retreading the same steps, but so far it doesn't feel like that. And so I am cautiously optimistic, and I'm giving this one I would give it a 3 if I was a normal human being, but since I'm Bryan and I bite, I give it a 4 because I love horror.
Yeah, I'm just so tired of horror games that don't deliver. I don't like a game just because it's horror. It's got to be a good horror game.
Sure.
And some people and keep in mind, this is just my opinion. As you can see, there's obviously a stark difference between, what Bryan is excited about, what I'm excited about. Yeah, I don't know. I've been burned too many times by these, and I don't know. The best chance this game has is me going in with the lowest expectations possible, because I was excited about Very Bad Dreams.
You were excited about Very Bad Dreams.
I wasn't excited.
The game that came to us from the Darkness roller coaster people.
I wasn't excited about it, but I was looking forward to it, and I actually started to enjoy it a little bit. Yeah. And that was all completely ruined within 30 minutes by how many bugs and how crappy that was. And then on top of that, I had to delete it because I was getting a 16 gigabyte update every single day. But
oh my god,
there was some right? There was some. Now I know some people like Organ Quarter too, and
Organ Quarter is good.
And I disagree. I did not. I get that some people I understand why they liked it, but I'm just it's not what I'm looking for. It's not what gets me excited anymore. I want high quality horror.
Cool. I mean, I want high quality everything, for sure. However, as somebody who loves horror, I would much rather play a bad horror game than a bad
puzzle game,
shooter, or puzzle game, or anything else. Yeah. Give me a bad horror game over bad anything else. You immediately at least have my interest if you can scare me. That's at least something I can enjoy. What's a bad first person shooter going to do for me? I mean, oh, this is bad, and I'm getting shot at.
Also, how am I supposed to be excited about a game that I've been talking about since 2019?
You have not. No, you've not been talking about this since 2019.
2020.
This is a sequel to Do Not Open.
Because Do Not Open never happened, and I was excited about Do Not Open, and I don't know. It's been years.
This game got announced less than 2 years ago. Do Not Open was forever ago. I 100% am behind you on that. Do Not Open was forever ago. It was supposed to come to PSVR1 and PSVR2, and then it came to neither. It's the legacy on this is fucking long as hell.
I wanted to play Do Not Open. So what is this? I don't know.
Why didn't you play Do Not Open? I played it.
It's not VR.
Okay. Well, then, I
don't play flat screen games.
Now it's your fault. What are you giving this as a rating?
I thought I said 0.
Okay, 0 it is. Moving on. My goodness.
Although it's probably I don't know. You giving it a 4 made me angry. It made me solidify that 0.
Listen, you do you.
I'd probably give it a 1 if I'm being real.
Are you giving it a 1? I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1.
Okay, fine. All right, dude. That brings us to March 12th from End Dreams, although it's Purple Yonder, I believe is the developer. Little Cities Bigger, the PlayStation VR2 exclusive version. Actually, I don't even know if that's true or not, of Little Cities. Dude, I didn't spend much time with Cities VR from Fast Travel. I didn't like the controls. It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel good to play. I was like, this is implemented horribly for VR, and I'm sure if I spent a couple more hours with it, would have been fine. I would have gotten used to it. Miles really likes it. This to me was always the game that kind of looked a little bit more my speed. It was like, hey, this is more like SimCity in VR. So I'm looking forward to this one, man. I'm looking forward to this. What about
you? So yeah, I have this. I haven't touched this at all. I haven't played it at all. I'm hoping it's like, kind of enhanced for PSVR2, because that's one of the things that bothered me about Cities VR was that it was like didn't feel up to quality of a PSVR2. Like it felt like a Quest port.
Yeah.
And that's not always a bad thing, but I meant this in a bad thing, like where it's like this doesn't feel like upgraded at all. Lower resolution, like bland textures, environments, things like that. I'm not typically a big fan of these games, but I'm interested in checking this out. I think it, even if it may on the surface not show a lot of the qualities that I'd like to see, like some really good lighting and like it all looks like baked lighting. Like there's no, like I'm not seeing any like moving shadows or anything. Mm-hmm. It's missing a layer of polish that I'd like to see, like some shiny glossiness on the city and stuff. But but it still looks like it could be okay, even though it's not my type of thing. What's your rating here?
I'm excited. I can't lie to you. I'm excited. Again, like I don't need a lot of these games in my life. I just need one every so often. I just need a good one. I really, like I would love to build up a city and manage it and build it according to the desires of my residents. Like I think it'll be fun. And I think mostly because I was so disappointed with Cities VR that I desperately want something that will deliver what I'm looking for. Yeah. And so I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and I think this is probably going to be my next 4.
Okay. I don't think this game looks bad.
Yep.
But I'm also not super excited about it, because this game has it tough, because I think it looks fine, but it's not my type of game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
And that has nothing to do with like anything other than this is not typically my type of game.
All right. That's cool.
I hope it proves me wrong. I hope this is one of those things, it's like, it was like survival games. Like I didn't play a lot of survival games until VR. And then I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I now love survival games because this is so fun. I haven't had a game like a sim style game like this grab me yet. But who knows? Maybe this could be the one.
For sure. Let's see. And so that one's coming out on March 12th. That means the one that's following it up just 2 days after is Paint the Town Red VR from Southeast Games on March 14th. AJ, I'm not going to lie to you. Right. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think this looks absolutely terrible. Like it looks like there's an audience for this, and the audience is for people who like drunken bar fight. The audience is for people who like, really dug on like the creativity that you find in swordsmen. What are other arena fighters that Gorn, very similar. There's an audience for this, and I've learned over the years, I am not the audience for these. This is hey, we're going to throw you into an environment with a lot of interactive objects, and we're going to let you get real creative with your kills. I just don't give a fuck. That's what I've learned. It's like this is a genre that even VR has not really saved for me.
Another one that's it's not really looking like my type of game, but I think it looks okay. Like it looks like it does at least have something charming about it. Like it's the faces look so goofy. Like it looks so goofy, and it's so gory looking. Like I love that it looks like this, but it's so gory. I don't know. I'm probably gonna go 2 with this.
Listen, I do want to point something out here for anybody in the chat who is like, this looks like fucking garbage. I'm not trying to come to this game's defense. I'm really not, because honestly, like as I just said, it's not a game for me. However, I'm bringing up the Steam listing of this, and I want to point out very clearly here, It says overwhelmingly positive for all reviews and recent reviews. People fucking love this game. Let me just jump to a review. Whoa, okay. Well, the first couple of reviews are not promising. The first one says, I watched Jacksepticeye play this 8 years ago and wanted to play it since. Next one was, I wish murder was real. What?
Oh my God.
This one says, I turned a man into a walking skeleton and he still kicked my ass. Extremely unrealistic, but very fun. Somebody said, in all caps, Jesus Christ, this is my favorite game of all time. Buy it now. I want to kill more people. My dad after a long day of work. Fun. And then this one just says violence, 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 violence. So
that's what it is. That's the appeal, is that it's hyper violent for kids.
Clearly designed for mature audience. Clearly.
This is definitely designed for kids, dude.
Yeah. But however, it does look like if you like this type of thing, it's doing a lot of this type of thing. It's giving you a lot of creative ways to kill massive amounts of people, voxel art style with just blood everywhere. I give it a 1. What are you giving it?
Yeah.
1?
2.
Oh, 2. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because I like action and it looks very action packed. I don't typically like the voxel art style. In fact, I really dislike it, but it kind of makes up for it with how insanely gory it is. I probably won't like this at all, but I give it a 2.
Did you not even like the voxel art style in Ancient Dungeon?
No.
Wow.
I did not.
Wow.
Okay. I don't like that art style. Just doesn't do it for me.
Cool. All right. Well, then moving on to. I
like Ancient Dungeon, though. Don't get me wrong. I like the game, but not for its art style.
Sure. That makes sense. All right. You are being judged, but we'll talk about it later. All right, man. Then that brings us to second to last game of the month, Madison VR from Bloodiest Games, coming out on March 23rd. What do we think, man?
Woohoo! This is where it's at, man. This is the one. This is gonna make or break the month. As far as I'm concerned, this is the only game this and maybe Stilt are the only games I really care about so far that we know about.
Yep.
Because I'm sure there's going to be other surprises there. There's probably going to be my favorite game of March is probably going to be one that gets announced out of nowhere and it ends up being really good. Yeah, so I've said it for a while now. This is my most anticipated horror game for quite some time now, ever since like September. When it was supposed to originally launch in October.
Oh yeah.
This and Phasmophobia, but this is a single player game, and those are a lot easier for me to pick up and play and get into because I don't have to like coordinate with a bunch of other people to play and stuff, and which I'm really bad at. And yeah, man. So I'm very, very much looking forward to this. That we've heard great things about the flat screen game, and this, from what we've seen, looks. Going by what we were able to see and interpret, it looks pretty good, and yeah, it's a full blown horror game with a lot of high quality looking stuff about it, and this is getting a 5 from me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I played the first hour on Switch. I feel like it's like 2 years ago at this point. I think a year and a half ago. And it was, really, really detailed, and the scares were really good. Playing in VR is going to be, way more immersive. Clear, it's almost purely a puzzle game outside of the horror aspect of it.
Oh my God, 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that was happening. And listen, I am really excited for it. But somehow I'm not more excited about it than I am for OVRdark, and here's why. We don't know who's porting this, and I think at this point we have the reason to be concerned. In your defense, every time there's a high profile game that we're excited about, it goes horribly wrong, and every time we temper our expectations and go in cautiously, it ends up being really good. And I'm going in guns blazing excited
which is a terrible place to put myself in.
Yeah, I just don't listen. I don't stay closely in touch with Perp, and you know, I don't even ask the questions anymore because like I don't know what they'd tell me, and I don't even know what their answers would be. But clearly, the Vertigo port did not go as expected, and we had a rough launch. It's certainly better now, but then Madison is like, well, who the fuck's porting this one? And so I'm more nervous about this one than I am OVRdark, and so you know. So even though I think might be I
don't think you should be, but
I think it might be a better game, but I'm worried about the port, and so I'm gonna say the same score as OVRdark, and that's a 4. And you're giving it a 4 or 5?
I'm giving it a 5 because no matter what, it's going to be both better game and it's going to perform better than OVRdark, and I can pizza bet you on that. Trust me, it's going to be more polished and it's going to be better. Even if it has bugs. It's still gonna be better than that one. I promise you.
So wait. So hold on a second. Performance-wise,
yes.
What if can we make the bet just on the performance alone? Like if it like the port? Can we say the pizza bet is that you think Madison's going to be a better port and I think OVRdark's going to be a better port?
Yes, I'd be totally happy with that.
All right, let's pizza bet made. Excellent. Now that I just jerked off your chin.
Is that what all this is?
I got a little ear too. Yeah, terrible. All right, man. So that's actually taking the lead, and then we got our final game of the month. It's only at the end of the list because it doesn't have a specific release date yet. This has been moving from month to month, but apparently development is complete, and we're just waiting for a release date and some review keys and the PSVR2 trailer for Cyube coming out sometime sometime in March by Stonebrick Studio. This Cyube VR, I guess, right?
Cyube.
Wow. How do you really feel?
I love this name because it's just so wacky, and I love saying Cyube.
Also, heads up, this is a very old trailer. One of the things that's actually holding up, if you can believe it, one of the things that's holding up the release of the PSVR2 version is that they want to have a brand new PSVR2 trailer that actually shows off like PSVR2 graphics and gameplay and blah, 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 everything else. And like, you know, that's updated and actually shows off what the game is. This is a super outdated trailer. And so we should be seeing that trailer soon. We should be getting an official release date soon. And obviously we should be getting our hands on it soon. AJ, this is the developers who are here in chat answering people's questions pretty consistently, I think, a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And as great as it was for them to be here and answer people's questions, I think it actually led me to have a few more concerns than I started with. One being that they're using dynamic foveated rendering and they're still at 120 reprojected. So it's like, okay, how fucking beautiful is this game? How detail rich is this game where they couldn't
because that can soften the look a little bit. Like using the reprojection, that's my biggest gripe with it, is like it can soften the sharpness.
Yeah, and
or gives it that soft graphics look.
And give it a lot of ghosting when you're moving around the world. So, you know, here's a game where it seems like I know you don't see it the way that I do, but here's a game that you're doing a lot of crafting and creating things, you know, in first person and moving things around in front of your hands. And I'm gonna notice the ghosting with reprojection. It's just something I do. I'm very susceptible to it. So it's a little strange. And then the other thing that concerns me is that it seems like it's, you know, when you combine it, whenever something like this comes around, you've got to compare it to Minecraft, right? That discovery on PlayStation VR1 was all the creative mode of Minecraft. That's what this is too. There's no survival mode. And so, you know, it's going to be great for people who just want to like hang out and build stuff. But like, what else is there to do? And I think it's not something I'm going to really understand until I get in there and play it for myself.
Yeah. Like, I want to go on an adventure or something. The only thing that really sticks out to me is that it looks really pretty. Like, it looks like it could be really pretty, despite being this voxel art that I don't really like in general. Despite that, it still looks like it could be very pretty looking, and I would like that a lot. Like something that is just kind of like serene environments and whatnot. But do I have to build that? Like, or can I just go and do I go experience that? And what do I do? Like do I just hang out in there, or what is this? Like, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm more of a structured game kind of guy. Like I like a game that's, does this, has a structure in place of what to do. I mean, there's like the chopping of the wood and the
chopping of
jumping
the
wood and
the drugging of the women
and the walking in the grass and
the jello pudding pops.
Damn. Oh God, that's awful. That's terrible. Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. I don't know what to do in this game, but it looks pretty.
Yeah.
And I hope it's pretty.
It's a good point. All right. So does that give us did we give a number on this? We didn't. What's your rating? Hype scale. 0 to 5.
Now I know a lot of people are very excited about this. Like I would go as far to say like this is even some people's most anticipated game coming up soon. Mm-hmm. That's not me, however. I think it looks fine for what it is, but it's another one of those things that's maybe not for me. It looks so pretty though, and I want to give it a 3.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 2. And most of that is because it looks pretty. Yeah.
It looks pretty. There's a lot of hammering stuff. If that feels good with the haptics.
I hope so, yeah. They've clearly given it a lot of work. They spent a ton of time on the PSVR2 version. So I really hope that comes across when we get to play it. Hope it feels that way.
Kevin Russ gave it a 3.5. Scott, the PSVR Gamecat for Life, gave it a 2.5. So I feel good. I feel like giving it a solid 3, right in the middle of those. Right.
We know that AJ is only comfortable when other people think the same way that he does.
Fitting in.
Right.
When I'm right.
Much rather be a follower than a leader. Gotcha. Yeah. I understand.
No, I could go lower. But I honestly have no idea. Like there is a mystique around this that I'm like curious about.
I'm putting all of the games in order here. Cool. All right. Well, then, AJ, I think that gets us to the end of the list. Means that starting from the bottom, Rainbow Reactor Fusion with a hype scale of 2, Paint the Town Red with a hype scale of 3, Mixture, hype scale of 3, System Critical 2 with a hype scale of 3, Akka Arrh with a hype scale of 4, Cube VR with a hype rating of 5, OVRdark with a hype rating of 5.
That is all you.
I know. Stilt with a hype rating of 6.
Yay!
Little Cities Bigger with a hype rating of 6. And then way out in front, Madison VR with a hype rating of 9. Pretty good stuff.
I feel good. I feel good about that.
Yeah. I feel pretty good about it too. I hope all these games are way better than we think they are. Otherwise, it's going to be a really depressing month.
Yeah, that's for sure.
For sure. We got a tip here from Joe Gaslighter with a $2 tip. Says, do you think, capital U, do you think the PS5 Pro will make
Wii U?
Wii U?
Wii U.
Do Wii U? Do we? Will make Gran Turismo 7 run at 90 hertz native. No. I think it will allow it to if the developers choose. This is the thing. Nothing's just going to happen magically. If the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out with the rumored specs, it's not just going to magically run the games better, right? And so it's going to require Polyphony Digital to go back in and go, all right, well, let's add more detail. Let's add, let's change everything and get it to run at 90 native. Let's get rid of reprojection. Let's do that. I mean, it's going to require a lot of work. They have to patch it, exactly. But, just like the PS4 Pro, which gave a lot of games. I remember one of the first games I checked out that compared the PS4 to the PS4 Pro was Farpoint. And man, does that game look better on the Pro, right? Yeah, because developers went in and actually like made it look better, took advantage of the extra power, And so that's kind of what console gaming is all about, is optimizing it for a specific platform. And so that's what will happen with the Pro as well. So yes, I do think though, I think that every game, depending on what the developers want to do with the newfound power, if they choose to go back and patch their games, there's no reason that all of them couldn't run at 90 native minimum.
It would be nice. And, you know, like you said, they do have to patch it. But to be fair, we're talking about Gran Turismo 7 here, which gets updates constantly and gets a lot of post-launch support. So
you think they would take advantage
this would be one of the more likely, if that was a thing that was possible with an updated, hardware. This would probably be one of the more games that would be more likely to.
I think so.
But I don't know. The thought of a PS5 Pro, even I know there's like tons of leaks and stuff now, and but I'm just like, I don't know. Like it feels weird when I don't even feel like we've truly witnessed even the full power of the regular PS5. So it just, this generation got a little funky from, reasons out of anyone's control.
Sure. Yep. I think, I think when it comes to Gran Turismo, man, like there's a part of me that just thinks they could probably get that up and running at 90 native without the Pro. Like these first generation, these launch titles for PSVR2, I think there's some rushing going on to make sure that these games are ready for launch. You get some people with some real technical know-how, and they're going to be able to, learn how to push the PS5 more, learn how to take advantage of, the PSVR2's abilities more. It just takes time. And God, who the fuck was it? Was it Fun Train talking about the Exorcist Legion VR or Safety in Numbers, saying that they don't want to release an outdated game because things have already changed in the last year, like learning how to make a good looking PSVR2 game. And so this is, I feel like Polyphony Digital could do it now, although they may want to wait, like on Sony's orders, to be like, hey, look at the power of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Like, look what it can do. Any complaints you had are now gone. So,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think it's coming out? Do you think there is one? Do you think it's coming out? Ian Stanbridge is saying PS5 Pro is probably end of the year. Do you think it's coming out?
I mean, there's a lot of information that would say yes, it is. Mm-hmm. But obviously, it's not going to sell 50 million like the PS5 did, unless it's the same price as the PS5 and the regular PS5 gets a price drop. That's what typically happens each generation, is that there's like a newer, cheaper model that comes out, like the PS3 Slim, PS4 Slim. Or no, was there a PS4 Slim? I don't know. There was with the PS3.
The PS4 got a
PS3 Slim. PS4 got a Slim. Yeah, there's usually like a Slim model that comes out and stuff, and they might charge extra, but it really is going to depend on I think there's a higher possibility of it happening than a higher possibility of it being actually worth it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Who knows? I love my PS4 Pro, and it was such a difference maker for PSVR. So, I'll try to keep an open mind here about it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm clearly getting one. Like if they're real, and it makes a difference in VR, and we get all these VR studios to say, hey, we're gonna issue a patch to take advantage, fucking 100%, right? I love my PSVR 2. I want it to look as great as possible. Throw some more power at it, and wonderful.
It really depends on the type of support it gets.
Right. But I am with you though. I am 100% with you. Like I don't feel like we've tapped all the power of the PlayStation 5 yet. I don't think this upgrade is necessary yet. But if it's happening, it's happening, and I'll fucking buy one.
Yeah, it feels too early in the PSVR 2 life cycle, especially for an upgrade like this to occur, because we just got the PSVR 2 a year ago.
Right.
And developers aren't even taking full advantage of what's there. And so that's why it feels like it doesn't feel right now.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
Nihilist Ryan says, I will buy PS5 Pro if it just means no more reprojection for the AAA games. Dude, my hope is that like before the Pro even comes out, that we are talking about this updated reprojection system, that Sony fixes the one that they've got. And so that when you were playing things like Gran Turismo, when we're playing things like Hubris, and we're just like, dude, I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it one more time, then I'll never say it again until next week. I don't notice reprojection on PSVR 1. I never noticed reprojection on Quest. I really noticed reprojection on PSVR 2. I really, really do. Right? There's just something about it that like hits my brain the way that the other reprojection systems don't or didn't. And so for me, it's like, well, clearly games have been using reprojection for years and I never noticed. And then suddenly it was a term I had to learn and like basically understand like, what am I seeing? Oh, it's this thing. Right. For the first time in 7 years, I had to be like, oh, that's what reprojection is. Cool. I had no idea. So I would be shocked if we didn't see a fix for that soon. Joe Gaslighter with another $2 tip says PSVR 2 on PC will make the Pro more viable to me. There you go. That works. AJ, this has been the longest fucking episode ever. I apologize. I did not intend for it to go this long. But
I give up. I gave up a long time ago.
Yeah. Well,
do you all know I tell Bryan that you keep every show to 1 hour?
Yeah, and if anybody
you would never know, would you?
The goal has been to get the shows shorter and make them closer to an hour, like hour and 15 max. And we were doing really well there for a while. We were blasting through these things.
Yeah, it was a fun week while it lasted.
It was a fun week. Maybe we'll do it again sometime.
Hey, man, sometimes it's fun to just go off the cuff and talk about everything that's going on. So,
and boy, do I wish today was one of those times.
Yeah, I think we talked about pizza for like 20 minutes.
Fuck yeah, man. And whose fault is that? Dude, are you ready to play some 20 questions and get this show over with?
I am ready.
Amazing. Sorry. Guys, I'm going to put 6 minutes up on the clock up on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it. And that means you guys out there and AJ in here only has 20 yes or no questions to figure out what game, PSVR 1 or PSVR 2, I'm thinking of. If you're ready, let's do it. On your mark, get Des, go.
Is this game on PSVR 2?
You know it's not.
I know it's not.
I would never do that to you.
Did it come out within the first 2 years of the PSVR life cycle?
It did not, no.
Did not. Is it a puzzle game?
Yes. I wouldn't call it a strict puzzle game, but there's definitely puzzles everywhere.
Does it support the Move controllers?
It does support the Move controllers.
Oops. Does it have full locomotion?
It does have full locomotion. That's 5.
Where we got cats? Is it a horror game?
No, that's 6.
Ooh. Do I love this game?
You do not love this game.
Oh, okay. It's not Zing, you guys. And it's not Transpose.
Which are clearly puzzle games. No question.
Yeah. Yeah, like the puzzle games of all puzzle games. I do not love this game. And that sounds like I hate this game. I definitely don't like it. That's for sure.
You know, the question was, do I love the game? Sorry, keep going.
Oh, do I love the game? Okay. It's got full locomotion. It's got move support. It's a puzzle game. Has this developer made other PSVR games?
Oh man, I think so.
I like where you're going there, Kevin Russ.
I think so. I will.
But
yeah, I will get back.
Fisherman's Tale is on PSVR 2, so it can't be Fisherman's Tale. Ooh, is this based on a popular IP?
No.
Damn, not Psychonauts, but that's a good one, Bob Zarkov.
The developer has not made other PSVR games. No.
They've not made other PSVR games. Ooh, I like this. I did like Durasane a lot. I didn't love it though, but I did like it. And that's kind of the horror game. Durasane horror? Would you say Durasane is a horror game?
I mean, not really.
Okay. And this was flat out not a horror game, right?
It's absolutely not a horror game. It's not Durasane, AJ.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh my god, is this game super blurry? Okay. I love that Nihilist Ryan had the wherewithal to mention Blind Spot, just in case.
Good. These are people who know me. Yeah.
Yeah, they know you pretty well.
Yep.
Does this game have any? Well, okay. Demo is based off popular IP. It may not be popular to us, but that's based off popular IP. But that's a good guess. Good guess. Didn't come out within the first 2 years, so it couldn't be Wayward Sky because I think that's a launch game. Torn was super blurry. You guys are going through the library for sure.
You're running out of time. You got just over 2 minutes left and still 11 questions to go.
Just over 2 minutes and 11 questions. Developers not made other games. Twisty Puzzle Simulator. What the hell is that? Is that the Rubik's Cube game?
Yep. Which is clearly a puzzle game.
Is it story driven?
No, that's 10.
Okay, can't be Ghost Giant. Are there any other elements besides puzzles?
Sure.
Like, okay. Is there shooting?
Yeah.
Shooting in this as well. Puzzle game with shooting. Is it fantasy?
Not in any kind of fantasy way.
Fantastical way.
Yeah. It's not like dragons and elves and orcs and shit. Yeah. You're welcome.
Not a horror game. We already did 18 floors before. You can't do that again. Is it sci-fi?
No.
Is there platforming?
No, not really.
Ooh. How many questions I got left?
You got 4 questions and a guess. In less than a minute.
4
Let's do it.
questions and a guess. Oh, it's a hard one.
Sirens on my end.
Let's see here. Moves. Okay, we got move support, puzzles, shooting, full locomotion. Shoot. Okay, I need to just guess some random things here. Did it come out in 2019?
No.
Did it come out in 2020?
Yes.
2020?
Hold on a second. Just want to make sure here. Oh, where the hell did it go? No, not 2020. Sorry.
Ah, shit. So probably 2021 then.
Probably.
Because there's no other years it could come out.
We ran out of years.
That's a big fuzzy area.
Oh, now that I know that, I will always pick 2021 games.
Oh my god.
I like busy.
What the hell happened in 2021? Oh, but they made. I was gonna say maybe Winds and Leaves, but they made other games.
AJ, we're out of time. I'm going to require a guess from you.
Okay, I am going to go with Silver Nexus here. Is it the Gadgeteer? There's no shooting in the Gadgeteer.
AJ, developed by Chicken Waffle, coming out November 25th, 2021.
Baby Hands! I was thinking Baby Hands!
Yeah, it sure sounds like you were thinking Baby Hands. I heard you say Baby Hands nonstop throughout that game.
Well, when he said Gadgeteer,
yeah,
Baby Hands came out right around that time.
Yep.
I feel like fuck this game.
I feel like we've picked Baby Hands quite a few times, especially in the early days of 20 questions. But
you have picked this a lot.
It's been a while. Hopefully, Looper can let us know just how often it was picked. In the meantime, guys, thank you. So Barb Zokoff said, I almost said Baby Hands. Everyone almost said it, but no one actually said it. Although I wasn't paying close attention to the chat.
We were all thinking it. No, actually, I literally thought of Baby Hands was the next thing I thought of after I said Gadgeteer. So
Looper, the underground Gamecat, by the way, the keeper of 20 questions, says it's only the second time it's been picked.
Really?
Not too bad.
I feel like you've missed some.
if I'm going to trust anybody, it's Looper.
Maybe we just talked about it a lot, way more than it deserves.
Oh, definitely. During those times, we had nothing else to talk about. We had to. He says first time was June 1st, 2022. Bryan to Wes, and Wes guessed it in 19 questions, which makes Wes better than you, AJ, by 1 question. Or 2 questions, I guess, since you didn't get it. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us on a very lengthy? Oh, this is not going well. Lengthy episode of PSVR Gamescast Live. Hosted by AJ and no one else. I think you guys are aware of that. Thank you to everybody who hung out. Thanks to everybody who supports the channel. All of our moderators, everybody who tips, everybody who supports on Patreon, members over here, Rypop and Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry, and some people go both ways. That's me. So thank you guys. We love you so much. And of course, you don't have to give us any money at all. We're just so fucking happy that you're here. That was a very different way of saying the thing that I always say. Happy Monday, AJ.
Get the motherfucking cat back, because I want to say see you guys on Wednesday to NGL. Says what was fun, guys. Thanks for the laughs. Thank you, man. Yeah, I laughed way too much. Secrets of see you laters, homie Kevin Russ. Thank you. Made the afternoon go by quick. Very good. Mark Poppin Pringles Leaf. I saw your PSN invite. I got to get that added. I saw it on the way home while I was driving, though, so I didn't want to crash while trying to add you. I'm sure you can understand.
No excuse.
Ryan, my metal feline friend. It says Arrh hype. Cube hype. System Critical 2. Little hype. Silver Nexus, my dude, says take care, be merry, and game on. Game Cats. Guys, son, fist bump to you. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for life, says, God damn it, baby hands, is that a joke about how your small hands, how small your hands need to be for orb use? I don't know. I slaughtered that one. Sorry. The Fender PSVR says, let's rock. We have always lived in the Castle Mary Cat. You rock, homie. Chris Forthenberry. And your mother smelt of Forthenberries. Your daddy was a hamster, and your mother smelt of Forthenberries.
Is that
which may smell really nice?
Is that
you don't know it? Just
is that really the line from Holy Grail?
No, it's elderberries.
Elderberries. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Oh my god! Holy crap!
Secrets of over there says peace, broskies. PSVR2 enthusiast. Thank you. He says it's his birth month. Yay! Happy birth month!
Wait a minute! That's not a thing we're gonna start doing. Birth months.
Happy birth month!
This is insanity.
The soul-reaving Game Cat Razia VR. Markio the Sleepless Night Underground Game Cat. Oh yeah, they had that Zenith Underground or Zenith update. I think tomorrow, where it's its last big push before it goes out of business. Mind Jive, C is mad _vegan, Gaza, Mark Smith, Alias, Rad Boy, love you too. Brian, it is time for my favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
Another ad from our sponsor.
Do you ever get home and just want some pizza but don't have time for delivery? Well,
all the time.
Well, if you got 15 minutes, we got pizza. I don't know. It's not delivery.
Without Parole.
It's DiGiorno. See, I feel like I could do this sponsorship bullshit.
Oh, you're terrible. What happened 2 years ago on this day in PSVR2 history, PSVR history, Gamescast Live?
Oh my god!
I imagine something terrible because we're really, unless the last significant release. Oh god, this can't be good. God.
Listen, I can only see the thumbnail in its tiniest form. It's not going to be good. Are you ready? Here it is. Is PlayStation VR2 the last chance for VR? Plus a ton of other viewer questions. It's got this gravestone. Thumbnail. Is this Here Lies VR?
Here Lies VR.
Dude, this was okay. So listen,
I don't. So great.
You know, I love it. I avoid clickbait, pretty frequently. I try to just have like honest headlines and whatever. I was making it,
gold, though.
As I was making it, I was like, this is the most clickbait shit I have ever done in years. Is PlayStation VR 2 the last chance for VR?
I love how you try to do clickbait and you can't even do it right.
What?
Like, it's not clickbaity enough. Like, it's clickbaity in spirit, but it doesn't look like something I'd click on.
It's not even clickbaity enough for AJ to click on.
You can't even clickbait if you try, Brian.
I mean, this is pretty fucking clickbaity. I remember so many people getting angry about this, being like, no, I mean, like, if PlayStation gives up on VR, if PlayStation VR2 doesn't succeed, like, then obviously, you know, Meta's gonna keep carrying on. There's no last chance for VR. VR is already success. And I got to tell you guys, this question I feel like is more relevant today than ever.
Oh Lordy!
Right? It wouldn't be a Monday if I didn't rise some cats up.
I love it.
Yeah. No, this is great. This is great. I remember we weren't thrilled about doing this episode. This was you and me too, I think.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, it was probably terrible.
Yeah, it's probably terrible.
Unlike this episode,
which was just fucking pure gold from start to finish. All right, you guys, thank you so much.
5 out of 10 rating.
5
out of 5. I mean,
yeah.
5 out of 10.
This is the hype scale.
This is the hype scale. 5
Okay.
out of 5
Excellent.
for this episode.
We've done a horrible job. We can't even hype ourselves up. Thanks, guys.